So I was in the car sales, and I'm sure you know Dr. Marcus Smith.
I do.
So
Yes.
me and him have been friends for a very long time,
Yeah.
right? So next time you see him, just call him Fat and Nasty. Right? That's he had a truck. He literally had a lowrider truck. It's called Fat and Nasty.
That's hilarious.
And we were in a car club together and everything. So he actually was buying a vehicle from me. It was like, man, you've got to get into real estate. You've got to get into real estate. And I really wasn't interested.
Yeah.
I wasn't interested. I did very well in the car business. I didn't want it. And one, I always looked at realtors because so many personas, right, are the suit and tie, the dressed up, the prettiness. And I can't. I am not comfortable in a three-piece suit. I'm not comfortable in a button-up shirt.
Yeah.
Like it's not the confidence that I portray.
Right.
So I just can't do it. But Marcus was one. Me and him good friends, and he was the one that pushed me to come into this.
Yeah.
And like I say, I don't have a degree. I literally what I call it. It's my good enough diploma. It's my GED. It's all I got.
I love the diversity though in this industry, and I did know it was highly saturated. So I think that was part of why I wasn't that interested about getting into this either, was because it was so saturated. Like, where am I going to fit in? What benefit am I going to make? What impact am I going to make? I wanted to be substantial. I wanted to feel like I was doing something worthwhile, and I wanted to help people. I went from an industry in oil and gas to where you're making the high guy, the CEO is making the money, you're working down the line, you don't really matter. And that's why I was through so many layoffs. I mean, I think I went through 4 or 5 layoffs in my career, and I was like, I'm just done. So, but it was a nice paycheck to get, you get that compensation packet. That's kind of nice. But anyway, I just didn't want to do it. So Toby would reach out all the time, and he'd be like, come on, get, you're going to do great. So I finally did it. And I told Kevin, I was like, my husband, I was like, I give it 6 months. I'm just giving it 6 months. If I don't do well, I'm out of it. And he said, that's fair. But he was pushing me too. Kevin was like, there's no ceiling on this one. Like, I know you'll do great. I just have a feeling. Yeah, I just have a feeling that you're gonna do great. Man, I got my first contract 3 days after I got my license. And then I sold 17 houses from August to December that year.
I didn't do that well. I did well, but not that well.
What's funny I door knocked in my community. I actually introduced myself to everybody around me that I could. And it's like, I have to start somewhere. I want to start here where I already live.
But you were showing people the value.
Yeah.
Right. That's the difference.
And I didn't even know what I had to bring to the table, though, to be honest. Like, I was new, and I was humble about it. I knew. I don't know anything. I don't know my worth, and it's like, let me learn, please. I will at least, and it's just I have something wrong with me. I can't have any notifications at all on my phone. So if I get a text, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, clean that thing up, get it off.
I'm saying,
and
it drives me crazy.
I can't. I mean, it's like
my wife. Oh no, that girl, she's got. I'm telling you, like thousands of like text message, emails. I'm like,
bogging down your phone.
You need to fix that, right? Like me, I'm like,
gonna crash into
you, and I'm like,
just from your notifications.
Hey, hold on 1 second, I right? I can't stand it. Yeah. My wife, total opposite.
That's exactly Kevin and I. And that's why I think we always jive too. He's a procrastinator. I'm Johnny on the spot. But that's a good thing too, because he's reeling me back. I sometimes act too fast, and he's like, wait a second, come back here.
My wife tells me that a lot. She's like, hey, hold on. I'm like, no, I'm gonna just keep running.
Yeah. She's like, I got this. And I always joke, I'm like, I can problem solve my way out of it. It's fine, I got this. Like, I make a mistake, I'll just problem solve my way out of it.
Oh yeah. Now I will say, my wife has learned that if I have some crazy idea in my head, that she lets me roll with it.
Yeah, like, Kevin he's like, okay, you've earned your stripes here. You
go figure it out.
Yep.
She knows.
Like, I know you're gonna learn everything you can about it, and you're gonna
make it work.
Yeah, you're gonna make it work. Yeah. One way or another. So yeah, I did that. So got into real estate, and I was 6 months later, I'm like, okay, I can't leave now. I'm too in it. And he was like, yeah, you are. So he got laid off. So then he helped me, and we grew this thing. It was massive. Like, we were running all over the place. Like, we were running around. He would drive me so I could do my work. And it was kind of a joke. Like, he's like, do you even hear me? No, I don't hear you. I'm too busy texting everybody and calling everybody. I'm like, I'm working. And
I get that a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be at home and the wife's like, are you listening to me? No, I am not.
Yeah.
I'm
going to own that.
working.
Hold on. Give me 2 minutes and I'll listen to you. I'm so sorry. But,
Yeah.
and it was a test to our marriage though, because we went from spending every waking second with each other to, okay, I have to work. Sorry. Like, tuning you out now, like, gotta work. And it was like that for hours at a time. But
it just, me and my wife have total opposite schedules. So, she's a stringer. She works at night.
Yeah.
So it's like a
passing by, yeah.
Right? Like, hey, I'm home. Hey, I'm gonna eat. And I might see her. She might sit down and eat with me. She might not. And that's about it. Like, it's funny, I posted on Facebook. So she has a little studio in our house or whatever. And the door, it's like a barn door, so it slides. So it's like cracked open like an inch or whatever. So I like took a picture. I'm like, this is how I say hi to my wife.
That's so funny.
Because it's like looking through the crack. I'm like, hey, how you doing? Okay, I'm going to bed.
Love you. But no, I think I had the best time in this job though in real estate when I worked with my husband. We did it all together. We did it for like that for a good solid year. Where we worked together every day. And then he got a call to go back to oil and gas, and he has been ditching me since. So.
But he's one of them smart
people. He is. Like,
she told me one day, she's like, he's a geologist. I was like, I don't know how to spell
that. He is so smart, but he's also very level-headed. He keeps me grounded big time, and I love that about him. But so yeah, that's how I got into the industry. And then yeah, kind of just took off from there.
So me and you were talking about different brokerages and fitting, right? Because there's, I want to say in Oklahoma City, there's like 800 plus.
Oh, probably more than that.
Of brokerages. And every one of them's good. They're
all great. All of them are great.
There's nothing wrong with the brokerages, and there's nothing wrong with having different ones, right?
Right. Well, it's good to have it. There's diversity in the industry. You need to have diversity in your brokerages.
But you have to find what fits you.
Yes.
Right? You have to find what is it that you need as an agent, as a person coming into this business. Do you need that person that is going to help lead you? Mm-hmm. Are you there to get just training, right? Because there's plenty of platforms that have just training. Like, hey, you can come in Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and we'll train you.
Right.
And we're going to take half your paycheck. But,
yes. Well, yeah, that's another thing though. That's the thing is, the split seemed to be like a huge discussion among all realtors is, oh, we want to go to the place with the least amount of split. We want to take home as much as we can. But what do you get when you have that? Do you get completely hands off? Is that really worth it? When you're faced with, legal issues or any kind of, issue at all, like, you don't have that support probably because you didn't probably pay your broker for that. And you think about those things too. And
that's a big part of it. Definitely a big part of it. But it's also, it's knowing, okay, how much knowledge do you have? How much knowledge does your broker have? And how much are they willing to help you?
And that's another thing to consider. If your broker doesn't have very many sales under their belt, but they just got their 3 years in and decided to get their broker license, maybe that's not exactly the good fit for you, because if you're needing knowledge, they may not have it because your knowledge comes from transactions. And sure, you can read all the contracts and all the documents, and you can watch all the podcasts, and you can catch up with all the news articles, which most are inaccurate.
Make sure you like and subscribe to this podcast.
So, I mean, you can do all that, but it doesn't mean that you have the knowledge, and the knowledge comes from actually being in the industry, in it, with your clients. Yeah.
I think you have to, one, you need to make sure that you're with somebody that you can trust, but that also has knowledge that's in this community, right? Like, I'm part of the MLS board. I enjoy doing this stuff because I want to learn. I want to know, but I want to be able to answer the questions when my agents come to me.
Absolutely. And you are I will say, you've done the transactions, the contracts, the documents, everything. And so when you're telling them, you're like, this is what it means. This is what I do. This is what I would do. And it's good to have, in some aspects, it's good to have a non-competing broker, but sometimes it's good to have an actual broker that is in production, because
Right.
they still know, they're still sharpening their skills. They still know what they're doing.
You have to.
It's very
every
important.
day.
But yeah, and I do think that there's a difference between brokers that are bosses and brokers that are leaders.
Yes.
And I think more times than not, you have somebody who's dictating what you should and shouldn't do, but they're not giving you the skill set that you need to excel. Because if you think about it, what do brokers need? They need every agent in their brokerage to cap. They need that because that's the money. That's where the money is. So if your agents aren't educated, you're not really making any money, which is keeping your brokerage alive, keeping your brokerage going, and also motivating your agents to be successful.
Absolutely. But I think as an agent, and this is me as a broker, as an agent, you have to know exactly what you want or what you need, right?
Yeah,
like,
and a lot of
I'm one of those brokers that I'll give you everything. I'll teach you whatever you need, but you've got to ask me, right?
And a lot
because
of them don't know.
I don't know how to do that.
Exactly.
I can give it to you. You just got to ask me,
right? And a lot of agents don't know what they don't know, so they don't know what they need. They don't know what they're lacking, and that's another issue in the industry, is that not everybody's cut out for self-employment. Everybody wants to do this job, but it's like, whether it's this or an MLM, type industry or anything like that, which I guess real estate is kind of an MLM type of industry. Whatever it is, whether you're selling anything, like if you're not prepared to own your own business and be self-motivated, there's no point in you being in this. It's really kind of, I want to say waste your time, but it kind of is.
It'll ruin your pocket.
It will ruin your pocket. The dues alone for real estate, let's not even talk about it. Oh my gosh, it's insane. Yeah, the money that you're dishing out to run your business, it's substantial.
I think that's a big part of it. Is one, like, you as an agent, as a realtor that's coming into this market, right? Or even if you are in this market, you need to know and learn. And this is me just being me. And I tell my agents, is that's your business, right? It's not my business.
Right.
It is not my business. I am here to support you and train you and help you in any questions that you have.
Right.
I am not here to run your business.
And that's the thing, is people want help running, and they come in and they seek their broker as their boss, and their broker should not be their boss.
No,
their broker should
be
your
boss.
Yeah. Don't sit there and
don't
sit there at your desk and tell us how to do our jobs, or scold us, or make us feel bad. Like, as an agent, you don't want to hear that. You want somebody who's going to motivate you and inspire you. And here are some tips. Here are some things, like, give you that. And if you don't know if you're with a broker who doesn't even know how to convert, or isn't even open to different lenders, like, lenders are another thing. They're not all one size fits all.
No.
I have worked with so many lenders, but I stuck with two mainly, and then I had a third that on my way out that I met, and she was phenomenal. And if you know Shelly Hernandez with CMG, I think. Anyway, I don't know the company. She's amazing. Amazing. And then
David Dustin, Chad Keck. Oh God.
And Chad Richmond. I introduced you to Chad. He's amazing too.
Devonna Badgerman with Stride Bank.
She's good too.
She's phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
Those so many. And then you got Kim Butler and Mandy Thomas.
Oh gosh.
They are amazing.
There are so many more I can name that are so good.
Huge.
So good. But you kind of stick with the people that you jive with, that are a little bit more diversified, because you don't know what kind of buyer you're going to get. And so you want somebody who can work a little bit in, that works and knows all aspects of how to get somebody pre-approved. Because a lot of lenders are really by the book, and some of them only go with a certain credit score, and there's, things like that.
I think that's part of it, but it's also like, just let's take David Dustman, right?
Okay.
They are a VA lender. That's what they hammer out. And that goes all the way to the top of their company.
Right.
Like, that's what they want to specify in, right?
Yes.
Because they know it inside and out, like, no problem.
Yeah.
You can answer any question.
He educates you on how to do your job better, to help not just veterans, but all people. But he really does teach you how to help veterans, or VA, or not even veterans. Just any military. He knows everything that he can possibly know about that loan type. And so when you're asking questions, you're like, he will educate, he'll just stop everything and he gives you like a full on course about, I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. Like what he has done for me, it helped my confidence to know what I was doing when I would talk to somebody who's coming out of the military or, somebody who's relocating out here.
Like David, like I said, David and Chad both, they're both very
I
similar.
didn't get a chance to work with Chad, but he did seem like
He's very similar.
I knew of him and I was like, kind of bummed. I met a lot of people on my way out that I wish I would have given. I was so busy working, so I didn't get to have many opportunities to work with anybody outside of the people I already knew. And it was kind of like, you're pick me, but it's like I don't have time to know you, and that was hard. Like if you weren't coming to me, I couldn't come to you. I didn't have time.
Oh no! So
and I hate that. I regret that.
Literally, it's funny you say that because. Like I have people that they call me, right? They call me and they're like, "Hey, let's go to lunch or whatever." But people don't a lot of people don't understand me, right? Like, don't come at me for my business,
right?
Like,
be my friend.
I'm horrible.
Yeah,
I'm a horrible business person.
I am terrible.
Like, because if it was just strictly business, I probably wouldn't do business. Like I'd be broke is a joke because I'm telling you, I'm horrible.
Not, right.
Because I have to have a relationship with you.
Me
like
too.
I cannot just call you and be like, hey, I've got this contract and they're on a VA loan and I'm bored and I'm done and I will not have any type of communication with you whatsoever.
Right.
If you talk to me just about business, right? Like I want to know about you. I want to know.
Too.
Like David Dustman, like his wife has the studio in their house.
I know.
Like she does hair and
it's so cool. Yeah.
It's crazy. And then his kids are like cheerleaders,
yeah.
like
and they're going to competitions all the time and you get to know him on a personal level and he's got dogs that he loves and his dogs are crazy and little poodle things and they're freaking adorable, but I know they eat food off the table. I saw that. Like,
it's funny,
you know them personally,
Oh, absolutely. And it was funny because when Brittany Campbell, she called me and was like, hey, this guy wants to meet you, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no problem. I said, set it up. We'll go to lunch or whatever, but people don't understand that every person is different, right? Your relationship is different. And that's how I have based my entire business is on relationships. Because if I can't have a relationship, I'm good. Like I'm not doing business with you.
That's me too. Yeah, that's me too.
I can't do it. Yeah. I mean, even me and Mike's the production manager. I've been wanting to do this podcast for, at least a year. Like this has been up for a long time. I couldn't find someone that I liked enough to bring in to help do this part of the business.
Right.
Me and him built that relationship, and now me and him crack jokes and whatnot.
Yeah.
And it's like
he's freaking awesome.
That's part of it. But people don't see that. People don't. They think of the money side of it, and you gotta
remove money from anything that you're doing. You're not gonna thrive if you think about money. If it's on the forefront of your mind, just get rid of it.
Be done.
Be done. You won't make that. You won't make any money. Because that's your focus. That's your motivation. Mm-hmm. It's not, hey, I want to know you. I want to help you. I mean, if that's your,
I want you to grow.
It's funny because in my new position now, you don't know what your lane is. There's nobody helping you to guide you through that. And you only know when you make a mistake and then they're like, wait a minute, you messed up, but you don't know beforehand. And in my job now, it's very much, you know what is expected of you, your lane, how to help people. You're going to learn everything you possibly can. This training is amazing. But they also talk about starting your business with your why. Like start with, why are you here? What is your motivation? What is getting you out of bed every day? And when you start talking to people, start with why you do this and then work your way down to what you do or how you do it. And once you start with your why, people feel it. It's a vulnerability. And and there's strength in vulnerability. So, being your true authentic self is very, very important in this job.
Oh yeah, and it's funny you say that because you were here during my meeting.
Yeah.
But I told my agents, like even my events that I do, it's not for me. It's for you. It's for your business. It's for your relationships that you should be building
Right.
with every person that you come in contact with.
Everybody.
It doesn't matter. Like you have to use those events as the time that you're bonding with people. Right. Because if you build that bond, that business will come.
Yeah.
It's going to come. But if you don't and you treat this just as a business, to me, it has not worked.
Well, that's why some brokerages aren't doing as well as they could. And not to say anything bad about anybody, because I'm not like that. I just, it would be great if people just took a step back and actually thought about, what am I doing for my community? What am I doing for my agents? What am I doing for my clients? What am I doing for the people around me? What am I offering them? And not what I'm getting. Let's talk about what I'm,
so
what I'm giving.
I don't know where the box went, but there's a box somewhere around here. So myself and my wife, and I applaud my wife. So most people don't know, but like me and my wife have like separate bank accounts, separate financial stuff, like all that's done differently. We assist and help a family that is in need, and she literally she takes care of them every single month. Never says a word to me, never asks me nothing.
Oh, wow.
But Dan Briscoe, one of my partners in my other businesses, and even in real estate, me and him, we have helped this family with HVAC. We've helped them just with all kinds of different things. But today he brought some art material and whatnot for the kids that are in the house. They have 3 kids in the house, so it's the genuine, the heart, the soul of the people that surround me. That's what I want. Give back to your community. We are blessed for what we have.
Yes.
And if we can help you, man, reach out. Right? Like that me and him did a couple weeks ago. We got a text message and was like, hey, we're needing some help, blah blah blah. I don't ever ask why. I'm blessed. I'm able to help you. Let's help. So I called Dan. Me and Dan went and helped them, and they just broke down and cried, like in the driveway, broke down and cried. And I tell people it's quote unquote, you're supposed to do 10%. Well, it's not 10%. It's the what you're supposed to give is what you can.
What you can, yes.
That's
give what you can. Yeah.
Do what you can. And my wife, she goes above and beyond. And I'm like, girl, like I don't see her money. I don't want to know her money. She doesn't really see my money. We keep it separate, but we both help no matter what. Like we'll go to Sam's and fill up a truck and just take it to them. Like, hey, here's stuff, But I think our industry is so blessed, but there's times that we see the negative side of things in our industry, and there's a lot of hatred, and there's a lot of stuff that doesn't need to go on, and there's so many network events that we do that you can just go and have fun and be a part of inside our business.
There's a lot of good in the industry, a lot of good. In fact, there's so much more good than bad, but the bad does outweigh the good in what you see, because the louder people are, the meaner people are more
the complaints.
They're louder, right? That's like if you're reading a review on a company, you're only going to see the negative. You very seldom see somebody who pops in and says something good. That's why it's such a big deal,
to leave the good reviews.
To leave the good reviews. It's very important too, because I mean, you're so happy that you don't even think about it again. But mean people, they're loud. They're going to be.
They want to.
Yeah, and that's a lot of what's going on.
And they're usually the ones that were helped the most.
Yes.
Are the ones that end up doing the barking at the end.
Yeah, they're the ones who were given stuff and they took advantage.
Yep.
And those are usually those type of people.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's unfortunate, but that's greed is a bad thing. It really is. I've met several people like that in my time in real estate.
I'm blessed that I have the good agents that I have.
Yeah.
But it's the loyalty that that they provide to me. It's
Yeah.
I want to help them, but it's if they need something, they know I'm here. If I need something, they're there for me. Like that's huge,
Loyalty is
huge.
huge to me, huge. And I have been loyal to people up until I had a reason not to. And in this industry, that was like a slap in the face, and man, it broke my heart. Um,
You're a very sensitive person. You
yeah.
wear it.
Oh, I know, I do. But that's a vulnerable thing, and but that's also why people attack me like they do. So that's also why I got in the predicament I did, which most people, I mean, let's get real, everybody knows about what happened. So we won't get into that. But
but that's part of our industry,
it
right?
is, and
like,
you know what?
we literally have a complaint button on an MLS. Like it's a police button. Like
it is.
Hey, I don't like you. Click.
And it's funny. It's like the running joke in the industry that it's always the agents who are doing it to take another agent out. And I think that is so wrong. I don't think another agent should ever take out or take someone out of their livelihood. I think it should be your client that only takes you out. That's why I don't make complaints. I will not make a complaint.
Well,
I started one and then retracted. It was the only time I ever did it. And I was like, I will never do that. I won't.
But to me, it's a training opportunity, right?
It
like,
is.
Hey, I see something wrong with your listing, whatever it is, right?
Like
Call them, say, hey, your
like,
sign
hey,
is in the picture,
you. Like,
right?
why do you have to be so ugly? But it is like,
there's some dirty.
It is a threat, and they don't know you. Most people who have said anything about me don't know me. In fact, the people who I thought I was friends with, I mean, they couldn't possibly have the time to get to know me because all I did was work. They don't know me. They don't know my family. They don't know that there's strength in numbers. Like I have a massive family. I have a ton of babies. I have a huge support system. You are never going to take me down. It's just the way it is. Like there's strength in numbers, and I have a huge support system, and it's just the way it is. And
you have to.
You have to.
Right. The people that are successful, there's things about us that our backbone, it doesn't break.
Right.
You can do what you want, but you're not going to break us.
No, you can't break. And
you're not going to break us.
And I wouldn't be in such a thick-skinned industry. And you don't climb to the top by being weak. So sure, I might be vulnerable. I might be sensitive. I might care a lot. I will give you every penny I have, but you're not going to break me. You can't. And I've had the meanest things happen to me.
And I love the fact that your husband he's right there with you.
Like, oh God, that man is my support. Like, I'm not kidding. If I'm falling
he's like
apart,
a Rottweiler. He's like a skinny Rottweiler.
I mean, he has been going hard. I'm telling you, he has been going hard on this. But I'm fine with it. It took me a little bit. It took me a little bit to get here, but yeah, I'm absolutely fine with where I am and what happened and everything. I think it was absolutely a blessing because I would have never stopped. I would have never stopped going. I would have never stopped trying or working. I would have never stopped helping and giving everything I could. And I know I would. I always set a retirement date. Like I'm going to stop at this date, but I know I wouldn't have. I know if somebody ever called me and said I need you, I would have never.
I could win the lottery and I wouldn't stop.
Well, I would. I won't stop I won't stop working, or helping people. I won't stop that, but I will stop real estate. And I guess in some aspect though, I probably can't do that either because I have too many friends. So there's so many friends. Like, and I have friends coming out of the woodwork now that people I didn't even know before. Man, they're showing up, and the support is insane. It's so insane when you go through something and you don't even realize that you've impacted people. Like, yeah, it's overwhelming.
People, and people attract to us. It's our personalities, right? People feel comfortable with us, and that's a good thing. It helps us. It helps our business grow, and now you're in a financial situation where you literally can help people grow their money.
I know. I'm so excited for it.
It's crazy. Like my wife's like, "Hey, you need to set up a meeting." I'm like, go it.
But I mean, it's just I knew I was going to roll from this into another position that I can help people because I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do another job that doesn't benefit somebody else. And it's never been about me. But that's also probably why I have such a big support system now. Like, I think that's probably part of it is, I would give to my agents, I would give to my friends, I would give to my peers, my cross sales. Like, I mean, I just, I didn't want it to be a bad transaction, and I had very few that were bad. So that's a good thing too. You know, most agents say that, oh, it's hard working with other realtors. I loved it. I had great experiences.
I'm very, very easy. Like I tell people, like, just communicate, like,
Right.
good or bad, whatever the information is, you got to tell me,
Right.
right? Like, don't hold off and wait till the next day. Like, just tell me.
Yeah, just
like, tell me, we're going to figure it out and
Yes.
we're going to keep
We will
going.
problem solve the heck out of this thing, man.
Like, that's your job. Like,
But,
completely,
yeah.
that's your job, you know? So I think that that's a big part of it. And I love it, you know? But I think me and you talked about bringing David Dustman on. I think
Yes.
that would be huge.
Well, just
to
so,
get him in here.
yeah, so I can even explain, like, our dynamic, like how David, or even getting David or Chad Richmond or Shelly in here, like, we can talk about, like, how they helped me and how I was able to help my clients. But I mean, they're amazing. So all three of them would be great, or even Chad.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it would be great to get a lender in here that we work with, that we connected with, that we can share some of that part with everybody too.
So I think we should do a live event.
I
Do a
think that'd
live
be fun.
event where we can talk. We'll have Mike on here.
Oh, Mike would be great.
He's gonna be on screen, so you get to see it. You're gonna get to see his pretty face. So, but we're gonna talk, and then, you know, I think that's part of it is people can ask us questions, right? Because there's so many people that do want to know and ask questions.
And we do need to get into the haters in this industry too. Let's get to the nitty gritty. Like, I know everybody's dying to know all of the dirt, and I won't ever disrespect anybody, because I've been disrespected and I know how bad that hurts. But there is a lot of things that go on that nobody talks about, and we can talk about those things.
I'm down.
Okay.
I'm down.
There will be a part 3.
Totally. There's gonna be a part 3. We're gonna have another guest show up. We're gonna help. We're gonna just, you know, we enjoy this stuff. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming on the show. Once again, I enjoy it. I love it. I love doing this.
I love being here, and I love that we helped so many people. I got so many messages and calls. Like, people loved it, so it was it was good.
I enjoyed it, and it's only going to grow. It's growing from here, you know, and I think that's a big part of it. So,
and I love that.
I appreciate you helping me grow this wonderful show, and you know, we'll see you next time.
Okay, I can't wait.
See ya.
And we're cleared.